Hi, everybody. Welcome to Me Moment. Today, I have a very interesting guest. I've got Richa here who's going to speak to us about her profession. So, I would like to start by saying that there's a huge shortage of nurses all over the world, especially in Australia, America, Canada, England. There's a huge shortage. And how are we going to bring about a difference in these countries is getting nurses from India. So this is a great opportunity for nurses in India to see how they could make it to England. Richa is going to talk about how did she make her way to London. So let's go straight to Richa. Hi, Richa.
Hi there, Vinita.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Could you tell us more about yourself and when did you come to this country?
So, my name is Richa and I'm a nurse by profession. And I moved in this country, it's been about 2 years now. And yeah, it's been good 2 years living here and working as a nurse.
So 2 years, I'm sure it seems to you like you've just been to this country yesterday, because I've lived in this country for many years and I feel I've just put my foot into Heathrow Airport just yesterday. I'm sure it feels like the same to you.
It does sometimes. Yeah.
Alrighty.
You said you came to this country through your profession. How did you get to come here? So, this will be useful to our viewers who are in that profession, who will want to know how to come to England. So, here, over to you.
So as I said that I'm a nurse and I used to work back home, and then I decided that I wanted to move abroad, and the first thing I did was I gave an English proficiency test. So you either go for IELTS, as I did, or you can go for OET. So you go for IELTS, you get a score of like 7 all, and then you can apply for the NMC, which is the registration board in the UK. So you apply for that, you get your registration, and then you have to sit for a test which is called CBT, which is a computer based test. So you just read the policies and everything of guidelines and everything that they follow in the UK, and you get that done, and then you get to what else? You just find an agent or someone, and then you apply and sit for interviews in whatever hospital or in whatever area you want to move to. So you do the interviews, you get that done, and then I guess that's about it. You get a visa and then you move here, I guess.
Okay, thank you very much. So, just to sum up what Richa said, she said, first one, you need to you have to first write to the NMC to ask for a registration. Following that, you sit for an English test, either an IELTS or OET. The next step, you do the computer-based test. You can do that in India.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do the computer-based test. And the last one is you have to contact one of the agencies so that you get a job. And how safe are these agencies? People are worried about are they safe, and is it straightforward? Do you need to invest a lot, or how much minimum money do the nurses in India need if they're going via the agency? Do they charge a lot? That's what I meant.
Yeah, some of them do, but then the one that I went to, the agency that I contacted, they didn't charge me at all.
Okay.
So that is one plus. So you know that they're genuine because they're not charging you anything, because they get paid already by the hospital that you're going to get recruited to. So they're getting enough money, so they won't charge you anything. So that's one plus. And also, just maybe you can just go to their site and everything and just find out more about them and find out if they're legitimate or not, so you don't get scammed or anything.
Okay. So Richa suggests go to an agency, because agencies you don't need to pay them any money. Through the agency, you choose your hospital where you want to go to, or your destiny in London, whichever area suits you. You find your hospital, and then and then you just get your visa and then fly straight here. Could you tell us how long did this process take place? So accordingly, the nurses in India could plan, their process to come abroad.
So I would say it takes roughly about 3 to 4 months. So you sit for your exam, and then you do the registration and everything. That takes about 2 months or something.
Oh.
So I would say it's fairly quick. So just about 3 4 months.
Sure. And could you tell us, you spoke about the computer-based test. How do you access the information so that the nurses could prepare for the CBT?
So I have a couple of books and everything that I'll share with Vanita, and maybe she can put it in the description that you guys can check out later. So it's fairly easy, and it's just MCQs, and you just, it's just the normal, how the guidelines and everything of how things work in the UK. So it's good to keep that in mind. You also get to learn, and you do your exam. So yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, so you've finished all your 3 months, you waited, you got your visa, and you know which hospital you're going to. Do the nurses become a nurse straight away, or they have to do any other test when they come to UK?
No, so once you're in the UK, you start your job right away, but you start as a band 4, which is like a healthcare assistant. So you're not a nurse, but you help the nurses in everything else, like taking vital signs and then bedside care and everything. But so yeah, you become a band 4 initially, and then you have to sit for a practical test, which is called the OSCE. So that is mandatory for everyone who's coming here and then planning to become a registered nurse. So you sit for the exam, then about a week's time or something, you get your registration, which is your NMC pin. So that pin is important for you to be working here as a nurse, and then you can work as a band 5 nurse in a hospital.
Okay, so you come to this country, then you sit for another exam, which is a practical based exam.
Yes.
So you did a computer based theory exam in India. Then you come here to know that's known as the OSCE. And do you think in order to prepare for the OSCE, does the hospital give adequate support to give you some scenarios to practice? And you think the nurses, it's easy?
Yeah, it's fairly easy, and the hospital that you will end up working in, they will provide you with educators who will guide you through the entire process, and they will give you enough information for you to be able to finish the exam. So it should be fairly easy. Yeah.
Fine. Richa, so you've got your visa, you started as a nurse. What do you think when you came was a major difference, um, being a nurse in India and being a nurse in UK? What were the differences, major differences, and did they have an impact on your day-to-day kind of life?
So yeah, it was a bit of a cultural shock for me when I moved here at first. For example, one of the main things is you don't call, you call everyone by their names. Even if the person is older than you just call them by your name, and it just feels more natural. And you feel like, yeah, you're just there to work and everything. So it just feels a bit more laid back. Secondly, one of the main things that I felt was a drastic change was, people here are not immediately putting themselves in a sort of an authority. So like, even if it's your matron and everybody, we're just all the same. So you can talk to them casually, and yeah, that was sort of nice. And everyone knows what their roles are, and everyone just adjusts to it. So that was quite nice. Back in India, it was a bit when you start as a new graduate nurse, it's very, everyone just looks down on you and everything. So that was a bit, yeah, but it's better here, I would say.
And what about your transition period? Do you think you have more courses to do here? The support systems are really good, and you have educators to support you. Whereas in India, do you have all the same educators and all the courses run by the hospital which are going to help you in your career? Do you have that in India? Do you think that you see that better here or in India?
Yeah, so in India, there were designated days where you would get trainings, but those trainings were not really related to that. They were just always like infection control or something. But here it's more based on, like bedside. And you get lots and lots of trainings about everything. And we need competencies here. Back in India, we didn't really need those. You're expected to just know how to do it. But here you need to have competencies, and you need to get signed off for things. And yeah, so that's sort of a legal document you have. So that's good. And then you keep having these refresher trainings so you don't forget what you're doing. And we have many, many courses. So yeah, it's always a good opportunity to, level up.
Yeah, great. You've been here for a while, 2 years. Now you're in your specialist area. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? Could you tell us, our viewers?
So I would say I'm still in that transition phase. So I'm still figuring things out.
Mhm.
But coming like in 2 years' time or something, I see myself in a better position. I would say I see myself being a senior
Mhm.
and learning more things, being more confident, and being able to teach my juniors, and maybe learning, taking on different courses, and expanding my and
And
confident in my bedside skills.
And I'm sure Risha is going to teach all the junior nurses and student nurses. That's where I see her. She's a very good teacher. So, Risha, thank you so much for coming and giving me your views about how to support nurses in India if you're interested to come abroad. And I think, nursing is a compassionate profession, and people in India think, yes, you're coming to England or going abroad for more money, but I think it's a good way of traveling and seeing the world in a different way. I think traveling abroad is really useful. Apart from you working, you're traveling, and I think it's going to be really useful to all the nurses who come to England. And Richa, thank you so much, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And all the
Thank you
best.
so much for having
And
me.
do well in your career and take care. And thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's
much.
bye from both of us.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.